Welcome to another installment of Super Simple with me, CZ. Today I have a very bright, happy birthday to you card. Been making cards for a while, and the thing I find that I am most in need of? Birthday greetings. Birthday greetings. So I created a new set called Birthday Palooza. This set is just designed for that most special of day, the day that we are born into this world, and lots of big words here with matching dies, but I'm going to keep it pretty simple, and I'm just going to use the word happy. Today I'm going to use my regular size MISTI because I'm going to do something a little fancy later, and I'm starting out today with a piece of Neenah Solar White, the smooth cardstock, and this is the 80 pound. And I'm going to be stamping today with Memento ink because I'm going to use my Copic markers to color in the word happy. Now, of course, the thing that I love so much about the MISTI is that it lets me stamp once and it looks good, but I get to stamp again to make it even darker. And this has changed, well, this has changed how I've used stamping. I'm just going to say it. Get a freaking MISTI. Anyway, the stamping looks great. The Memento ink will work great with my Copic markers. So let's start coloring, shall we? I'm starting simple. I'm making a rainbow, but I don't have a lot of markers, guys. I mean, I'm building my collection. And I'm going to start here with the darkest color first, and then I'm going to come in with the lighter color. Now, I never know which is the best way to go. And honestly, I start this way and then I'm going to completely change direction because my pinks don't blend that well. I have probably more pink than any other color, and I still haven't figured out which ones do the blending, but the whole tip to tip, you know, when you take your lighter color and you tip it to the darker tip, it helps. It helps you to create a blend. But now when I move on to orange, I'm just going to use the lighter color and just flood the space that I want to use, kind of get that paper wet. And then I'm going to come in with my darker orange. And this actually worked really well. I thought it blended better. And actually, what's interesting, these two oranges are probably the furthest apart of all the colors that I used. So I really needed to do that tip to tip to kind of create that blend to get it as smooth as I could. And it's not, you guys, it's not perfect. I'm not a master blender, but I think, yeah, it works. Now I'm going to move on to yellow. And same thing. These colors are actually closer in, is it hue or range? But I still started with the light. And if you'll notice, I'm not going into the next letter where it overlaps. I'm just kind of keeping it simple. I'm sure you could do something really funky with this, and I cannot wait to see what really creative card makers do with this set, because this is my simple way of, you know, adding a rainbow to words. My greens, I love the YG01. It is such a pretty color. And the YG23 is actually a lot darker, so I feel like this one too had more contrast. And again, using that, touching your lighter color tip to the darker color to kind of create that mid-tone color really helped to add the blend and make it look like, okay, she knows what she's doing. Because sometimes I do, and honestly, guys, a lot of times I don't. Last color is the blue, and even though I included blue in my rainbow, I'm gonna be leaving blue out. It's nothing personal. Blue's gonna stay here, but blue is not coming into the next phase. It's okay. If you like blue, I'm so sorry. I had to make some cuts and blue had to go. Now that this is done, I'm going to use the coordinating die and cut that little happy word out, run it through my Big Shot, and I still think it's magical every time I die cut something that this happens. Seriously. All right, next phase. I am going to create a mask, and I've got some of this Simon Says Stamp masking paper, and I'm just going to use one of my Hero Art circle dies. This is a great set, great price for it, and just, oh my gosh, all-purpose circle set. And I'm going to cut out a circle because I'm going to set this aside because I could probably use the circle for something else, but I'm going to use the mask and take the backing off. This is how I put it the sticky side up and then lay my, that's a 4.5 by 5.5 piece of Neenah Solar White cardstock, the 80 pound, because I want to add a rainbow of color with Distress Oxides. And I wanted to show you my cute little holder for my little distress blending tools. I got that at the Container Store. It's a nail polish holder, and it works great. I don't have a tool for every color, but I have 12 tools, and I just pop off, I pop off the sponge as needed. So I'm going to start here, and blending, I don't know. It's still not really my thing. I'm trying, guys. It always seems to happen that I get a little heavy-handed, and then whatever intention I had for the soft, ethereal blend kind of goes out the window because my hand, I just think I look awkward doing it. Now, granted, I'm speeding this up because I think it's painful to watch me blend. I got a little dark on that orange, and I thought, oh, great. All right, we'll go back in with pink and darken that up, and we're gonna try to salvage this, people. But it's distress oxides. They're forgiving. When they dry, they soften up a little too, so I wasn't too worried. I thought I'm just going for the effect of color, and here's where blue will not be part of the rainbow. I just dropped it out because I didn't have the right blue, but I think that's okay. Now, take that mask off, and this is where, I went so slow on this. So slow. This is greatly speeded up because I never want to bend my paper. I'm always worried that I'm going to pull too hard and the paper's going to bend, but look at that. I love that crisp reveal, and as a new card maker, this is magic. This is magic, people. All right, and now I'm going to cut a panel. I'm just using a dotted Lawn Fawn rectangle, and this is from the small set. It's the largest size in the small. Just look at that nice little dot edge because I love that die set. I think it's super cute. And now I'm just going to tap a few flicks of water, get that nice little distress oxidization thing that happens, dab it off with the paper towel, and then I'm going to set that aside to dry. Now, I'm going to cut my card base first, and I need to make this to be, 5.5 by 4 1/4. It's a top folding card. So I'm going to cut my paper first out of this Simon Says Stamp Gray Fog. The reason I'm doing it first is because I wanted to have a little leftover scrap that I could use to do my sentiment. I just didn't have any of the Gray Fog, so I thought, well, I'm gonna work out of order a little here, people. So cut the card base first, set that aside. And by the way, this Tonic Studios trimmer, it's the bomb. It allowed me to really quickly just cut some 1/4 inch strips, and I am going to stamp my sentiment directly onto this. Now, I just saw a video from Sherry Carroll over at Simon Says Stamp, and I thought this was such a smart way to do strips because sometimes, you do a strip and you cut it wrong and you're super frustrated. So you cut the strip first. This is what I learned. Cut the strip first. Go ahead and put your sentiment down and just lined it up here on my larger MISTI that has the pad. And I'm going to take a lighter ink, which is just a Ballet Slippers from Lawn Fawn, stamp it down on the pad, and then I can line my strip up right where it needs to be. Just cover that text up perfectly, pop my magnets down, and now when I go to stamp with my Versamark ink, it will stamp exactly where it needs to be on that strip. The only thing I didn't do here, I forgot to prep my area with an anti-static tool, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna work, but that looked pretty good. So I added just some white powder, just pop that on, and it was getting kind of sticky, and I thought, yeah, this clip's not gonna work. But you know what? It did. So I do recommend the anti-static tool just so you don't have to redo things, but every now and then you're gonna get lucky. I guess if that's a takeaway for the day, well, there it is. Yeah. Now I'm just going to cut off each end on my sentiment, again, using my Tonic Studios trimmer. And here's the deal. I lined up the letter right on the plastic there so that it was perfectly equal on both sides. Now I can score the base, scoring that at 4 1/4, and that folds down to 4 1/4 by 5.5. And there's my card base. And yeah, love that bone folder, Teflon bone folder, people. Now I've cut a piece of fun foam, and I'm going to put it on the back of my panel with the pretty circle because I want to pop this up off my card. And then I'm going to adhere that to the front of my card panel. Now I've got some thin foam adhesive on both pieces, so I've got my little happy, and that's popped up off the card and offset a little, and the sentiment. Now here's the thing. I also made a black one, and I'm looking at this on camera and I'm thinking, so I brought the black one in. And you know what? Even though initially I thought it was a little too harsh and I loved the gray, the thing I like about the black, and I did decide to stay this way, is that that black pulls out the outline of the stamp. And so I thought, yep, we're going to go with the black. It's got that nice pop. And yeah, I'm glad. I still love the gray fog as the base for this, but the black did add a little more pop than the gray would have added. So that, my friends, is the card for today. Super simple, a lovely happy birthday card. And if you're in need of a new happy birthday set, well, I've got one you could use.